Hey, what's up, guys? Alan here with eatsleeptrade.net. Going to be going over the watch list for the week of August 10th, 2015. Got a pretty good list this week with a lot of potential short squeeze plays. The markets have been a little bit weak lately, still kind of weak, but I think that a lot of short positions have accumulated over the last, 3 or 4 weeks, and I think that these specific plays could be set up for a quick reversal slash short squeeze, and those can tend to have pretty good range on them. So sit tight. We'll be back in just a second, and we'll get into those. All right, guys, welcome back. First up on the list is ADXS. ADXS is a monster stock. I remember trading this thing back when it was peaking out at $11, and everybody thought it was done right then and there, and it's freaking tripled since then. So an insane stock that has huge range, huge volume, and the potential to make large moves. As you can see, it's been in quite the pullback since it peaked out up around 30, and has a pretty large short float right now, which is kind of what makes me want to keep an eye on it and maybe possibly get interested in it. They just released a PR, I think on Thursday or Friday, and we had a nice little candle reversal, bottom candle down here that shows that this could be the end of a downtrend, and maybe we could start heading back up. And I'm going to be watching this on Monday, because if this thing does start to pick back up towards this $17 area, we could really see a large squeeze happen, and it could, push this thing who knows how high. So I'm just going to be watching that. You got a good, risk reward entry right here if we hold up on this 1370s area of support. This $17 area of support was, pretty important area, as you can see that we ended up falling through. So that's probably going to be a tough resistance area, and it's right there at the 20-day simple moving average. So we'll be watching that. But if we get some volume into this thing and it does make a reversal, it could definitely put a squeeze on. It could definitely just be a bearish pullback and then continue lower. But I think right here we're at a good opportunity to take a trade on a low risk with a pretty large upside. I mean, even if you only get back up to this $17 area, you're still talking dollars. So I'm going to keep my eye on it just for that reason. I think it has a chance of squeezing out. I like this candle from Friday. They released some PRs on it, which they haven't done in some time, and that could be enough to really get this thing moving again. Next up on the list is SPPI. Pretty interesting chart here, but as you can see, it has been trending up pretty nicely. Pretty volatile, large swings as well, and this one here has an exceptionally large short float. I think it's like 30% right now, and you could see the big move that it had on Friday, which I don't think anybody was expecting. And I have a feeling that on Monday, if we get a continuation above this 750 area of resistance, then we could also see a short squeeze happen on this one, and momentum possibly picking up. Plenty of room on the RSI. It's not overbought or anything, and great volume on Friday. And if we get volume like this again, I would say this thing definitely has a chance to get back up to this $7.88 range and possibly break to some new highs over Friday. So we're going to watch that. It's got a good short float, and it's been putting in higher lows as it travels up here. And it looks like everybody thought it was about to snap right here, and it did quite the opposite. Ended up recovering and closed up nicely on the day. So I think if we get above that 750 resistance area, let it continue to squeeze and see if we can't hop on that and ride it up for a little bit. Next up is ACRX. Another one here with an exceptionally large percent of the float short. I think this one's between 20 and 30% as well. I like the little breakout that it had here. Nothing major, you know, a 2-day decent run, nice volume and decent sized candles. Pulled back, and we got our little reversal candle there again, coming right off the 20-day. So I think it gives us opportunity to look for a push back up to this 490 area and see if we don't get a continuation. You know, overall the stock is trying to head up, but you could see the gap downs that it's had, so it's definitely destroyed some people in its life. But with these higher lows, we could be looking at a little breakout here on a possibly, you know, a 2 to 5 day run on that. Next up on the list, we're going to take a look at CBLI. Another stock here that is coming, you know, off its all-time low down here at around $2. And again, you could see the higher lows that it's putting in. Huge gap that it had, you know, closed red and sold off. But once it closed the gap, started to find some support, and it's kind of hanging out right here. Had a nice gap on Friday, a nice bullish candle right there. And I'm just basically going to be looking for a continuation on this move and possibly a squeeze higher as well. Another one that has a fair amount of the flow is obtained by shorts, and when these reversals happen unexpectedly like this, especially when a stock gaps up and runs, it can really start to get people to panic and squeeze. So those first four, ADXS, SPPI, ACRX, and CBLI, I'm watching all those plays for a potential short squeeze on any type of strength. Next on the list is going to be AMD. AMD just coming off a bottom here as well, had a nice recovery, and now it's starting to flag up right here. Our lows here around 206, 205, almost forming a double bottom there. If we hold that support area here, break to the top side of the flag, that could definitely set us up for a breakout continuation. You can see here it already broke this flag, right? So there's one flag, breakout, flagging again, hold that support and see if we can't get another continuation breakout on AMD. So here would be your risk around this 206 or just below it. When we get a green day, hopefully on Monday, if that thing opens up, looks like it's going green and starts to possibly break on the flag, could be a good opportunity to get in there with a minimal risk on that one. Next up on the list is RPTP. So overall, the chart, you know, almost has a very large cup and handle setting up, which is a long-term pattern when you're trading that pattern. But it's also, you know, trending down a little bit right now. But looking at this 1350 area, I think if we continue to close above this support area, I mean, you could see on this day here, tons of buyers stepped in. On this day here, tons of buyers stepped in again, not letting this thing fall down. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, just an observation. So looking at this chart here, if we can continue this reversal and get above this downtrend a little bit that we've been in, it could give it an opportunity to continue higher. I mean, overall, it's a pretty strong stock. You know, from May, it's gone basically straight up all the way into July, and it needs to cool off from that. It never really had a pullback during this whole period. Now it's kind of consolidating a little bit while, you know, sort of trending down. But I think if this 1350 area support holds and we break out to the top side of the downtrend, then that could set us up for a possible continuation move higher and hopefully work our way back up to this $16 area up here. Next on the list is SPHS. Coming off a bottom again, like most of the plays, or like a lot of the plays, on our watch list, but this one's forming a nice little wedge right here. And you've got the higher lows coming in here, and the little doji candle setting up as it tries to push back above its 50-day. It's failed, and looking for that third break here. If we see that, great entry opportunity to get in with your risk at one of these days lows here, right around 86 cents, with the entry going to be around 90 cents. So you're talking very minimal risk, 4 or 5 cents, and look for the breakout above back at least to these highs in here, which is going to be right around 110 or so. So risk around 5 cents, looking for around a 20-cent reward or more, depending on what kind of volume we get in. Taking a look at the RSI, you could see how it's trending up very nicely. It's not sporadic or erratic, unable, or hard to read. It's very organized as it continues its trail up. So definitely going to look for a breakout on SPHS if we get to the top side of this wedge for a possible 22, about a 22.40 cent move on that one. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for the watch list this week. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos. Also, check out our website, eatsleeptrade.net. From there, you can follow me on Twitter, as well as like our Facebook page, so you can stay up to date on all the stocks that we are watching and trading. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.